Okay, hello and welcome to, I believe, round five, I think. Yeah, round five of Inters Racing League Tier 2. I am here again, Apollo Pepsi, your commentator for this evening. I don't know if I'm getting any help. I think I might be alone again this evening. Okay. Couple changes for the Tier 2 grid. Where's the channel? Where the driver moves are. I might be able to guess this actually. So couple moves for tier two. I'll tell you the reserves for the tier two race. There's a sprint round, so there is a sprint race or sprint quali sprint race, then normal qualifying and main race. So we've got two reserves today. We got a Red Bull of Glob. I think it's Glodrip. I can't really see the name. No, it's not. It's Gugar. One of the new names and enters. Haven't seen him race yet, so I'm excited to see that. And then we got Weber in the Aston Martin alongside Marv, who is a full-time driver now. I believe he was reserve until last week. He got moved to full-time. Also, McLaren has been making some moves with their driver changes. You got Lamb, who was reserving last week. He completed his reserve race. He's now in the McLaren full-time. Is there any more driver moves? Let me try to find the channel where it all happens. If I can. I'm not prepared because I didn't know I was going to be talking about this. I don't think I can get to it. Anyway, we'll move to tier 2 standards real quick before. Okay, that's a bit of an issue. That's not calibrated. Alright, give me 2 seconds. I don't know why that's not calibrated. Now it's... There we go. Oh, we'll move to standing... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, we'll move to standings. And we are starting to go, so I'll quickly run for. So Jacko leads to Oscar Piastri. Oscar missed last round, so he sits 31 points behind. They're both here today. Marv is also here today. He's P3 on 50. Just to be everyone's aware, Tier 2 did miss round 1 at Australia because there's a bit of drama with EA, so that did happen. That is your top 3. That's all we got time for. Sauber leads in their constructors and is followed by RB. Now, what we'll quickly do is we'll run... Okay, that's not even fun. Everything's breaking. Oh my lord. We'll run through on the hot lap real quick. So, I did this only a few minutes ago, so it's not a perfect lap. I didn't get that much time to actually perfect the lap, but it's decent anyway. So you're braking just at the curb in the middle of turn 1 and turn 2, then you're basically full throttle, just modulating the throttle through all the S's. Then you go up the hill, you basically hold it flat, try to get as close to the curb. Don't hit the curb on this side because it will spin you sideways. Hold the inside line all the way up to the 50 move board. Throw it in for Degner 1, brake hard at the end of the curb, then throw it in for Degner 2. Use all the curb on the outside now. For the hairpin, you want to do a brake bias just if you're running low brake bias. So as you can see, I completely butchered the corner and locked up. It's driver preference, what the driver wants. You can keep second, third. Most people choose to do third gear for traction. Coming up the spoon, turn in after the 50 meter board. Use all that outside curb, but don't invalidate. It's very easy to do. Use the same feeling on the exit of spoon, all the curb. Avoid the invalidation. Now you run down to 130R. You will hit a few bumps along the straight, which does kill your speed. Use a bit of the curb on this. I used way too much. Into the final corner, use all that inside and second apex, and then use the exit curve, run it tight to the line, and that will... Oh, that lap was a 27. It could be better, but we're on to qualifying. That is what... well, that's what Tier 1 is going to be tomorrow. Tier 1 about 27s, 26s for Tier 1. Tier 2, we're more looking at I would say a high 27. Maybe. I don't know how these guys will go in qualifying. What is up, Dante? Was just hyping up McLaren as they did make a massive driver move of Lamb into the seat. Who is the first car out? It's a Williams, I think. It's a Toddy? No, it is not Toddy. It's got to be it is Hato. Just to remember, Letter P, originally a Tier 1 driver who did get moved down last week into Tier 2. Had a shocker debut for Tier 2 in Bahrain. It was decent qualifying for him, but we'll see how he does. He's got 2 races to prove himself this time. Also got Scotty, who also got moved down as well in the Mercedes with Letter P to Tier 2. Admins voted on this. They thought they were both eligible for Tier 2 as they were really struggling in Tier 1. So Scotty on his first race in Tier 2 this season as Hato will take us around a lap of Japan. Let's see what he does into turn 1. He is on the medium tires, so this is this sprint qualifying. I did forget. So sprint qualifying, you basically use a medium and then you use a soft at the end. A lot of people going on softs actually straight away. Actually, no, it's only Jacko on the soft tire at the start. Everyone else on the medium. Hex, you should definitely make a comeback. Why not? Get in the sim. Chuck the car around a bit. Now, I might be a bit exhausted for this race, so I might not be as energetic as last week. I did go to the Motorsport Festival in Adelaide this afternoon. It was about 36 degrees, 37 degrees heat, so I'm exhausted from that. So we'll see how we go. I might run out of breath at some point. As Hato is purple sector 2, big yellow flag for Aston getting out of the way of a Mercedes. Hato kind of butchering the final chicane. Just a bit of a lock up, misses the first apex, still 29.6. On that medium tire. It is a McLaren next across the line. It is Oscar. And I didn't miss it. And then it was Jericho. So about 5 tenths clear of Hato is what Oscar went. And then Letter P beats Oscar out with a 29.0. Won the Red Bulls across the line to start their lap, I'm pretty sure. Toddy across the line on the medium tire. Goes 29.5. Beats his teammate. Won the Mercedes. Drop there across the line as well. I believe Aston just started as that 1.5 as Jetman and Domwa across the line. They are 1/10 apart and 6th and 7th. Romsey goes into P10 with 34 motor. Have a mistake. Jacko goes quickest overall with 28.8 on the soft tire. Might want to go again because that time doesn't look quick enough. Considering this is only a medium tire, runs as Lambs goes even 3 tenths faster than Jack on the soft tire, so that's a demanding lead over the rest of the field. About 3 tenths gap to Marv in P3, who's on the medium. Ghost Rider goes P8 with 29.2. Go has Invalidator. Weber is on his lap, so we'll stay on with the Aston. You Lamb tier 1, he's not gonna survive, buddy. It is at medium TC and he's on full TC. And to the final corner, Weber goes, using most of the curbs. To the line, 29.3 goes P9, so that's a decent time from Weber in that Aston. Fix the antenna, you don't get a race. Oh, you missed out. Unlucky as I think someone just passed. Well, I think Romsey just went even quicker. I think he just went P10. But 80 thousandths behind P9. Which Mercedes is that? That'll be drop there. What did we? Why are you on about, Yuki? What did we not care about? That you agreed to go no TC and then you spat the dummy and left? Got better about 4 tons up on this time. This will put never agreed before. We got receipts. You don't want to play that game if you're saying you never agreed. Got better about 4 tons square goes 29.7. And plus, I suggest if your tire responds to me, Yuki, about what I just said, you do not want to piss me off because I'm not in a fucking good mood at the moment. Sparrow Cat. On is that? Purple Sector 1, so he's gone quicker than Drago's time. He's actually gone P1, I just didn't notice. 28.3 as the fastest times, about 2/10 faster than what the last medium time was. That's on 3 laps old mediums that he's done it on. Salvo just letting it through the Ferrari who's on a flyer. I believe that was Jacko who's done 3 laps on those softs. He's actually managed to 0.4 and put it in front of Lamb. Well, he was always on the 0.4. I'm not very certain. Barricade Purple Sector 2. $28.8 for the Battle Cat. Sits into P4. So it looks like the soft tire advantage around Japan is not as high. Now these drivers should have... It's either 2 or 3 sauce for the main quali after short quali. I'm not... It might be 2 sauce. I'm not quite certain. Let's say Ferrari sandbagging pre-season. Yeah, maybe. Could have been. What a P is on a lap. 2 horses are. J-Man's just binned it, I think. Where's he done it? He's just lost it out of turn 2. Unfortunate fast, so that will be probably a P. That actually might be a P20 start because most people are going to be improving. three people at the back still need to set times. You got Scotty, Gogo, and Ludo still to do times, and they're out on the out laps at the moment. So everyone on track except Jacko, who went sauce at the start. On board Lamb. I just had to watch the time, so Jacko has made a not Jacko, Letter P has made a mistake at the hairpin. Going up the hill with Lamb. Let's see if he's able to purple select what he's getting. Actually, like nice little toe from the RB in front of him. So he's 3/10 up on his time now. We'll put him towards pole. As Jetman, or not Jetman, 1.5 Domwa goes across the line. 29.1 for Domwa. I don't know which Aston is next. I think it's either Marv or Weber, so we'll see. As I think Letter P is done. He's had his little spin. That's the aggressive turn, and he clipped the inside apex of the first turn in. Actually kept it nice and going, so Weber 29.1. You got Ghostwriter up to P8 on the medium tire, 29.0. Wonder Ferrari coming across the line. It was Junkyard 29.1 as well. Got the two McLarens and one of the Red Bulls across the line. Piastri goes P1. It's knocked down by Echo, and then Lamb P1 now. 27.5 is the benchmark for these drivers. Drag across the line. Oliver manages a P2, about 1/2 tenth behind. As we jump on Ludo. Ludo's invalidated, so we jump on with the Red Bull of Gogor. As he's actually just made a mistake. I can't commentate a curse that one. On board with Scotty, coming to the line. Now, I didn't catch most people finishing their laps. I think Domware might be on another one. No, he's done. Scotty across the line, 29.4. This is in the P17. So the pass of Jetman only falling to 18th in the end, as both Red Bulls have either validated or made a massive mistake. But that is your grid for the sprint race. Basically, everyone doing their times on sauce. That's at Letter P and Ghost Rider on the mediums. But 27.5 followed by 27.6 and 27.7 for the top three. About 3-4 tenths clear of P4, so might have a three-way fight for the lead. And you got Hado, Marv, Rumsey, Toddy, Oscar, Jacko, and Battlecat for your top 10. And you got Letter P, Ghost Rider, Junkyard, Prosthetic, Drop Bear, Weber, Dumwa, Scotty, Jetman, who crashed out in qualifying, Gogo, and Ludo, who failed to set times. Invalid link. Broseph, if you're watching, you might have to send a link, or I don't know if who's logged into the account. Whoever's logged into the account needs to fix. If you scroll down to the About Me section, it might be there. Or Dante's gonna send you one that works as well. That's doing. Wait. I'm actually gonna fix this. Oh, just in time. 5 lights out. Here we go. It looks like the McLaren Lamb getting a good start. Same with Drago. He's going to sit in behind Hado, send it down the inside of Echo at turn 1. Turns to turn 2. He's on the outside for turn 3 now. Still side-by-side build. Will bang. He's going to stick the nose in. Can't get it done. Marv's trying to get on the inside of him. As Weber's out at turn 3. Exit. That's a caution. Is that going to turn into a safety car? I think it is. As that is a pit stop strategy. It's just a medium tire. Mostly. I think my Discord's just had a moment or something. Nothing's loading. So just give me like 2 seconds to figure out what the hell has just happened. I don't think we're getting that much action at the moment, except Ludo. Ludo's up to P17 at the moment. Yes, Logan, it is a sprint race. My Discord has just had a moment and now I can't do anything on it. So that is just fun. Lamb is the fastest driver on track, 30.4, but he was first one across the line. Almost 1 second gap to the Aston in P5 as Oscar is going around the outside of Rumsey, gets the move done nice and early before the big braking of turn 2. Just saying, I was one of the Red Bulls in the back going a bit sideways. I don't know who that was. I think that was Ludo going a bit sideways. The back. Now it's Oscar all over the back of Marv, who's currently in P5 as Hato has a massive mistake. Gets overtaken by Oscar and Marv at the same time. Now that gap's to 1.1, so Marv's going to have to burn this battery hard if he wants to get back into this DRS. And then we might see the top 3 just fly away. As Hato's... Oh, no, that's Hato. That's Toddy trying to get around the inside of Rumsey. As Hato just going a bit... No, that's Toddy going a bit wide as Gogo gets a 3-second penalty at the spoon. As Marv is coming out of DRS of the top 3, as I believe that's Rumsey and Toddy going side by side for spoon. To both of the Saubers side by side as well. Still side by side for the Saubers. Rumsey keeps the position. It looks like Jack is just going to hold on as you got Battlecat sniffing the rear of one of the Saubers, trying to make... As they're going to go 3 wide down the straight. Oh, one of the Saubers caught the inside curb. I believe that was Jacko or the letter P. As Oscar Piastri has gone up to P4. Hato's also followed him. Climbing to Weber. He died exit turn 3. I think he caught the curb. He caught it wrong, I think, and just went spearhead into the wall. As actually, who's that? That's Ghost Rider. He's just gone around at... Ooh! That was close. He was... I almost got scared for... I was a bit scared for a second for Gokart's safety. It would have sent the Ghost Rider spinning. Oscar Piastri just out of DRS. Actually caught about 3/10 in the chicane. Goes fastest overall, 29.8 for the fastest lap time as Lamb gets overtaken for P1 by Limitless. Oscar actually holding that position on Hato down the straight. Oh, fuck. Now the sneezing has come in. That's fun. As it's a 3-way fight between... Lamb is just caught in a RB sandwich at the moment. As Oscar's almost within DRS. If Lamb wants, he can back Echo up a tiny bit. Well, he doesn't need to anyway. I think Echo's made a mistake. He's about almost a second out, and Oscar's dropped Hato. We're on board with Lamb. choosing not to burn any of the battery. There's a drop bears also our DRS 1.7 gap to Battle Cat, so it's a fight for another day for the Mercedes. As Lamb through the final chicane turns on the battery. DRS open. Echo also has DRS. Hato is out of DRS of these top four, so it's like RB versus McLaren fight at the front. As Marv gets past Hato for P5. Let's check down with the Ferrari TP of Battlecat. What is Battlecat up to at the back of this train? It just looks like he's biding his time. We've got position changes at the moment because the tires are the same life for everyone, so it doesn't really matter. So Oscar is up 4. Same with Damwa. The biggest loser would just be Ghost Rider after that spin at the hairpin. I believe it was 2 laps ago. So on lap 3, he had that spin, which sent him down the order. But so far, only personal penalties at the moment is the Red Bull of Gogor. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, it's a bit of a yikes. Back to the front. Actually, this is getting a bit spicy. 2Y is side by side letter P and Toddy. As letter P, a bit of contact. Toddy off as well. They're both gone into the gravel. One of the Ferraris followed them. I believe letter P has recovered it better, but he's missing half of his front wing on the left side. You can see the damage very visible. Missing that top half and end plate. As Dropback gets a 10-second penalty. As the letter P goes off track. Back to the front. Lamb is still in the lead with the 2 RBs behind. Oscar gonna send it? No, he was almost got alongside the RB of Echo because Drago had a bit of an issue. Now it's time for Lamb to burn that battery, get the DRS out. Because at this point, having 2 teammates on the same team in DRS is just a pain. Because you're not getting past. It looked like Oscar was sizing up a move, but he decides against it. Into the final chicane to start lap 7. Lamb is in the lead still with a sizable gap of 8/10. We'll jump on board with Oscar as he has making the charge as Echo just... That's a bit of a double move in my opinion. That's a reactive move. There's letter P speed in pit lane, 10-second penalty. He might retire the car here. Well, actually, what is letter P doing? Let's have a look. Tire. He is fitting another medium. He's going to run around on for about 2 laps. I would have gone with a soft tire, to be honest. Yeah, letter P has retired from the session now, so he's done after that contact with Toddy. As Echo is almost out of DRS of his teammate, who's actually about to gap him. And Echo is out of DRS almost. Oh, he's on the cusp. I think Drago just lifted the slightest bit to give his teammate some DRS. But Draco so much closer to Lamb now. As Gogor gets another 3-second penalty, that'll be at Spoon. As it looks like Drago not gonna. Oh, that was a bit of contact between the RB and the McLaren. That was a bit awkward at turn 1. Saw a last second as I think one of the Ferraris. It was Junkyard making a move on Ludo. And I think Drop Bear made the move on Jetman for P11. Or no, I think it was Domwa made the move on Drop Bear for P10. I'm not quite sure. One of them made a move on someone. As we jump to the front, where it all matters. Last lap will be next lap. RB and McLaren being cleaner. Well, it was a top 3 fight when at the start when Marv out of DRS, but I believe Oscar got a helping hand from Lamb to back up the RBs into their DRS after he dropped the Aston behind him, and looks like Oscar's gonna try around the outside. It goes onto the grass. Has to cut the chicane. Doesn't gain any time, but he's not going to get that place. He's going to have to do it somewhere else, as Echo is also lost out the DRS to his teammate, and he didn't make the move on Lamb, so Limitless is looking for somewhere else to do this move. I believe Battlecat. No, it's not Battlecat. I keep getting mixed up with the Ferraris. Junkyard trying to make the move on Scotty. Or it was the other way around as Jetman has a little bit of an issue at turn 3. Almost opened the door for the other Mercedes. Drop Bear is bringing this pack closer. He's trying to get his teammate Scotty some more points as Jacko makes the move out of second. Degner on Hado goes a bit wide at the hairpin node. Now they're on side by side on the exit, but I believe Jacko gets the better traction and more power out of the corner. We'll jump up to the top because there's 2/10 gap between the two of them. Limitless with a tiny little slide at the start of Spoon. But does he get the exit? No, I don't think he's got the exit. They're both burning battery. It will all be the last corner. The last chicane is where it's going to be made. As Lamb, he goes on the recharges, he's out of battery, a bit of a lockup, went wide, but he keeps the place as a turn to the inside. Oh, it's side by side. I think Lamb ran out of fuel at the end. And I think Oscar ran out of fuel. I think both McLarens ran out of fuel at the end. McLaren had it in the bag and they blundered. Oh no! It was going so well! Yeah, looking at Oscar's steering wheel just there on the spectator camera, he was negative 0.15 to the line, so he would have ran out a while, a bit from the line. I don't know about Lamb though, but that is your results for now. So Drago is finishes P1, Lamb P2, Echo P3, then Marv, Rumsey, Oscar, who was sitting in P4, P3, but the fuel happened. As the rest of the drivers, 3 penalties for the drivers at the back. A bit of collision between Toddy and Letter P that will be looked at in Short's room, I assume. But that is just unfortunate for the McLaren. Such a good position, and it all went down to not enough fuel in the car. Now, I believe we are moving on to short qualifying for the main race. So drivers, I believe, get 2 sets of softs. Or 3 sets, I'm not quite certain. But qualifying has now started. Now, if drivers want to change their setup or for the longer race, they are able to do so. But all drivers, 2 sets of soft tires. I believe you can use a medium tire used in the sprint race I think. I'm not quite certain. That is not... I don't want to show telemetry. There's someone's coming out, and that's an Aston Martin on its way down the pit lane. For some reason, the cars like to run along the left or right hand side instead of the middle of the actual lane. But Webber will be your first car on track to set a lap time, then followed by one of the Saubers, I believe it's letter P, who's came out. But we'll turn the tires on because now this is where it matters for the driver. Bit of strategy can come into this, so you can use the medium tire if you so desire, but in my opinion, I highly I recommend it going against it, because you do use it in the main race. You're taking about a lap and a half out of it already, just doing a qualifying lap. In my opinion, it's a lot better to do an inter-tire run to make sure everything's working, just in case, because it is F1 and stuff does break. You do an inter-run, then you do two softs. That'll be my way of thinking of doing this. But each to their own. You can do any way you like. Just had to keep in mind that you'll be on all the medium tires for the start of the race, and you hit the cliff a lot earlier than most people. I believe the tire, or what is, I believe tires show around here. You want to start high, you want to start the worst tire, to be honest, and then you can move on to the mediums. I believe that is the strat. So you got about 15 laps on the hards into, or 14 laps then on the mediums. Anyway, on board with Webber into turn 1, brake at the start of the curb on the left into turn 2. Gonna run it or touch that inside curve turn 3 and turn 4. You kind of want to miss turn 5 and turn 6. You want to kind of keep it flat. You don't want to go into 5th gear. Shift up to 6th for this uphill run. And now you fold in at the 15-meter ball over the curb. Shift it all the way down to 4th. Use all that inside curb as one salvage letter P behind, taking fast the sector 1 away from the Aston of Webber. Go to second for the hairpin. Run down to speed. You want to keep it tight in qualifying because tire temp doesn't really mean much in qualifying. You kind of want to wear the tire, use as much as the goodness of the tire you have. In race is a bit different. You want to save the tire life a little bit down towards 130R for the Aston into the chicane. It's already flashing on the rear of this car, so that might mean he's already out of battery or deployment. I get close to that wall, he decides to do against 28.7 for the fast time. Letter P does the exact opposite, goes close to the wall, 28.2 for the letter P. Sits into P1 as we jump on with one of the Red Bulls. There's Gogor in P6. Gonna go P3 with 32.9. Might have had a mistake on that lap, so might want to go again. Let's drop back across the line, 29.7. Almost being Webber with a soft time or medium run time. We jump on with Jacko, and then I believe it's Toddy behind him. Or Hado, I'm not quite certain. As Sauber 1-2 as Hado goes into P3. One of the Red Bulls coming to the line now. That'll be Ludo. Goes P5, 29.6. So it's currently a Sauber 1-2 with both only a 10th apart from each other, as you got Toddy now on that medium tire coming to the final chicane. Deciding against using all the apex curbs. Runs it close to the line. 29.2 for Toddy. About a second off letter P's time, but that it was done on the soft tire. As Junkyard on the move. Oh. Good, I'm tired. 28.666 for Junkyard. That's a bit cursed of lap time. 666 then. As we're going to see a lot more drivers coming out onto track now for the double soft runs. It's mainly a 10 minutes. You want to start coming out pit lane for softs. Everyone is filing into the pit lane as one of the Rebels went again. I think that was Goga went again. I don't think he improved on his time. He still sits on my 32.9 that he said before. And that was actually a cooldown lap. So I jumped on board with the Red Bull now as there was a tiny bit of lag out of turn 3. And the other Red Bull of Ludo is also going again on a medium tire. 2.4 seconds up, Gogo. So he had a massive mistake in Sector 1, it seems. That was a spoon. Gogo again. A nice, decent exit in that Red Bull. Up to second line, 3.3 seconds up on his time, so that'll be 29.6 currently is what he's looking at. Yeah, just faster than Ludo's time. 29.8, so lost about 2/10 in the chicane part of the lap. We'll jump on with Domwa. Actually, no, it's not Domwa. It's Jetman, I think. Who was that ahead? Okay, it's Jetman and Domwa. Two Haas cars about to set the first flying laps at the 10-minute mark for the second runs. It's one of the McLarens. I think he either had a spin or was waiting for people to go by. That would be Oscar. The Alpine of... okay, so just getting out of the way for Jetman as Jetman goes purple sector 2. Into the final chicane. Takes the first apex nicely. Decides not to use the second one as he doesn't want the car to kick out. Just wants to set a lap time 28.7 for the Haas driver. Sits into P5. We'll jump to his teammate Jet or Domwa, who might have had a mistake somewhere. I think he was a bit closer and he's fallen a bit far. To the line, Domwa comes 29.4, is P9 behind Ludo. They improved his time by about a 10th on the last run. As we'll jump on with Oscar for this flying lap. As he's this lead car in this little train that is starting their laps. That job there just because on one start as I think it was Weber and Marv follow suit. I don't know who's behind them. No, that'll be haters start the lap. Red Bulls are in pit lane to get the soft tires on. Oh god. Oh, something's tickling my throat and it's hard to talk. Oscar, purple sector 1. I think it was a 32 flat sector 1. It's pretty decent. Yellow flag thrown at the chicane for one of the horses. Top sector 2 for the McLaren driver. Let's go to the line. 27.8 for the McLaren driver. Takes the 1-2 away from the Saubers. Drop Bear jumps into P8 with that time 29.0. Gets pushed down by Marvlo, who goes to a 28.7 for his fastest time. Is it Rumsey? No, there's Ghost Rider first, and then Rumsey. Ghost Rider's had a mistake, so he's actually not pushing, so I jump on board with Rumsey, who's currently on a flying lap. So he actually goes purple sector 2. Gets a bit of a tow from his teammate. Through the final corner, hugs it tight to the wall. 28.3 for the Alpine, goes P3. RB coming across the line to start their flying lap. But jump on board with the Saubers though. Letter P shoots. I think Letter P improved to a 28.0 on his flying lap, so about 2 tenths away from what Oscar has achieved. As Lamb has still yet to come out for his times. Jacko goes even quicker than his teammate, 28 flat. Still 2 tenths adrift of Oscar's time. So it's back to Sauber 2-3 as Limitless has blitzed Oscar's sector 1 time by about 3 tenths. So currently Limitless up 3 tenths on the pole time. One of the Red Bulls having a little issue in sector 1. Still yet for 4 drivers to leave the pit lane to set their flying laps. Again, yellow flags for sector 2, so I can't tell how much time we have. To the line, here comes Drago. 28.1 for the RB, goes P4 behind the Saubers. So Saubers sitting nicely in second and third. That'll get out of the pit lane. First driver of the 4. First driver of the 4 to come out of pit lane as Sauber Red Bull went into the pits to change their tyre, put more fuel in, with the Alpine slowly crawling their way. Guessing a few people running out of fuel on the outlap. Jump on with the Battle Cat. We'll sit on board for this lap with Battle Cat. Into turn 1. Nice and clean from the Ferrari. Nice and clean for this as well. Trying to keep the car straight. Has enough fuel to go an extra lap if he does end up invalidating. I think he has enough. There's some people coming out of pit lane now. we come up to the chicane, break at 100-meter board, try to take as much of the curb as you can, which Battle Cut does nicely. To the line, hug the wall, 28.5, sits in the P6. We've only done one lap in qualifying, so that's not bad from the Battle Cat. He will have a fresh set of softs for the race. If we do get a late safety car, Weber seems to have made a mistake and he's just readying up to go again. So we got, I believe, which, so it'll be Weber, Jacko, and Junkyard. The first three drivers to finish their laps, and then there's a bit of a congestion, so I'm about to go lose my voice. Because that is a hefty train at the hairpin. Let's find out where Lamb is. So Lamb's actually there. We might sit on board with Lamb, because Lamb's still yet to do a time. But I'm going to go jump to Jacko. So Weber looks like he's backed off his lap again. So to the sector 1 line, Jacko currently down on his time, about 8 thousandths down on the time as yellow flag for McLaren. I don't know where. I honestly actually don't know where. I see him now. He's in the gravel trap. Just crawling around in the gravel trap as he lets Fry by. I believe he's going to go now and he's going to give a toe to Lamb. Weber laying the Fry go as well for Spoon. I didn't see the sector time. I think he was up on his time through the chicane. Just a bit too much curb and he's invalidated. So that's Jacko done for qualifying on board with the Ferrari. Sits in the P4 28.1. Lamb, who's only doing one lap this session, was he able to do to the line, 28.3 P6. It's not quick enough. Oscar took too much time on his outlap and he doesn't get a lap in. So that's a bit of a yikes. Jetman to the line, 2 tenths up on his time. Goes to P8 with that 28.4 for him. Let's go with Echo. He's actually getting impeded by Williams. Right up the Williams' arse at the moment. I don't know which Williams this is, as one. Toddy P2, Limitless goes to P7. Echo P17 for the other RB. And I think he was behind Hado as well. There's too many cars crossing the line. I don't know, like, what's happening. We'll jump on board with Scotty, because I don't think Scotty's done it. Everyone crossed the line at the same time. Scotty 29.1 sits in the P18. He's going to sit alongside Echo on the second last row, which will be a surprise to Scotty because Echo's been fast this whole weekend. This whole session he's been fast. So currently your pole is still Oscar. Didn't even get the second lap in, but was able to keep it with his first soft attempt. Then it's going to be Toddy P2, Jacko, Hado, and then letter P, Junkyard, then RB, Limitless, Ghostwriter, Lamb. That's your top 9. You got Sauber and Williams sitting in the top 5 with Oscar on pole. But the one that won the sprint race is starting down in 7th. With Lamb, who was fighting with him all race in P9. Gonna have to hope for a good start. You got Rumsey, Jetman, Battlecat, Marv, Weber, Domwa, Drop Bear, Echo, Scotty, Ludo, and Gogor for the remaining drivers. I believe Gogor has actually lost connection to the session and I can't invite him, so that's quite unfortunate. But the big one is Echo's starting P17, 1.2 seconds off the pace to Oscar, who's put pole. So this is going to be one interesting race. We'll wait for people to select their strategies. Waiting for people to select their strategies. I think I see a medium or a hard on that Haas car. I can't quite tell. I think it's a medium that I see over there. Peeking through the fence, it looks like a medium tire. I can't quite tell. Anyway, lights are on. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Looks like most people on the medium tire. Lights out. Away we go. Who gets the better start? Oscar gets a good start. Immediately crosses across Toddy to cover that inside line. Toddy gets just an equal start. Jacko keeps a position. Hato keeps position. Side by side for Junkyard and Limitless. This is not what you want if you're Limitless at the moment. Side by side still for turn 5. So it looks like it's all good. Echo jumping a spot from his starting position. He's now into P16. Looks like most people stayed in their normal positions. Will jump down to Ghost Rider and Lamb as the Lamb is trying to make moves as Marv's the early car on the hard tires. So people thinking there will be an early safety car for this race, and everyone started mediums. Someone tried to go around the outside of right. I think that's Jetman and Battlecat going side by side out of the hairpin. They still side by side going all the way to Spoon. Battlecat's going to have a bit more momentum. Jetman just breaks himself. Same with Drop Bear behind when Echo went up his inside. As Jetman still having issues on X as Marv in front of the RB driver. RB driver wants to climb very quickly as it is a hard one runner, so you wanna get this hard runner out of the way, but he's all up the rear of his teammate at the moment. As the Drop Bear trying to send it down the inside of Jetman as Limitless side by side with the letter P gets the move done as first lap complete. Oscar still leads with 31.9 as the fast lap, but now it is DRS games all the way as side by side Lamb and Ghost Rider. Lamb gets the move done. He's almost out of DRS, just keeps a bit of a slide for the McLaren driver. Wants to push this to keep the DRS as Junkyard and letter P. Oh! What's happened there? Lamb has been shoved straight off track into the gravel trap, and now he's down to P18. Make that P20. It's like basically, if you want to think about it, everyone is in a McLaren sandwich. It's the papaya sandwich. We're getting the same treatment as what happened at the start of the sprint race. The top 6 are running away with it. Out of DRS, Romsey is in no man's land. No DRS for him, no DRS for the car behind. What happened to P? I think P and Junkyard came into contact at turn 6. No, turn 5, and then, yeah, everyone just went flying. Hato's made a massive mistake. He's dropped down to P8 now into the chicane, and now he's got Battlecat all up his rear. I don't think Battlecat's gonna attempt an overtake here, as he knows that Hato is probably just gonna burn all of his battery to get back into DRS. A kick went across the whole track to rejoin, and Lamb had to avoid. Well, If Lamb wants, he can report that and everyone can look at it. But now Lamb has a 1.6 second gap to get back to Scotty, where basically the whole field is still within DRS except for Rumsey, who's 1/10 out of it still. As Letter P has made another mistake and is 1/10 out of it. We'll jump to the front. Oscar 7/10 gap on Jacko, as Junkyard has gone quickest overall. As Jacko's going to close that gap really fast on the McLaren driver, as that gap between Rumsey and Limitless has grown so much just down that straight. No, spoon track limits are like very normal. That track limit's been the same for basically every F1 game. It's very consistent. It's a very consistent track limit, in my opinion. Most of the tracks on the F1 game are very consistent in track limits, except Imola, where it's like you're questioning why you're getting the warning when you're still on the track. I'm just watching Rumsey at the moment as he's trying to get back within DRS of Junkyard, who's been overtaken by Limitless. I think Junkyard had a little bit of an issue. It's very straight compared to real life? I don't think so. I mean, if drivers do that in real life, they'll up the lead in qualifying. So it's actually not that strict. As Lamb has actually got back within DRS of this train that is actually led by Echo in P10. So P10 train down to P18 and Lamb's back in it. He's left the Red Bulls at the back to fight. Are they both AI or something? Both Red Bulls are in AI. We have an AI fight at the back of the field. Oh god, that is just funny. Top three have pulled away from P4, about 2 second gap to Junkyard. And that gap's not going close. As if you lose DRS on this game and you're about the same pace as the car in front, then it's kind of just over for you. You're just going to lose pace. So I think Echo is gaining the tiniest bit on Battle Cat in front, but he's going to lose all that when it gets to the DRS. We'll jump on board with Lamb because I think he's about to make a move on Scotty down in the spoon. He is. He's going to go down the inside. Scotty's not going to fight that one too hard. Scotty's sniffing the rear. Oh, that's a contact of the Mercedes. And that's Lamb making a huge mistake. And now he's back out of DRS. As Webber into the pit lane for the hard tires. Now, Jacko and Toddy have been racing together for quite a while. I've seen this seat for in other leagues. The title fight in DRS, and they're also fighting in Inters, I believe, for the title. I'm not sure where Toddy is in the stands. Jacko going a bit wide. I got a bit scared that he was gonna give him a little tap, and then Jacko goes sideways, and then the race is ruined. Anyway, Toddy and Jacko, title rivals in another league. Could become title rivals in this league, but Jacko's got pretty good gap in front, about 30 points to Oscar, who's actually just sitting right in front of him. Toddy's having a look on the inside, doesn't want anything of it. As what's happening there? Battlecat, he's lost his left wing. So that's Battlecat with damage. Weber getting a 3-second penalty at Spoon. Now, I know the medium tire is still good for a couple of drivers, but at this point I'll say, if you want track position, pitting early is not a bad idea. Especially if you're on that train down in P9, where you're not catching. Undercut is not a bad idea. As a junkyard, oh, he's getting double overtaken out of the hairpin. I don't know what happened there. It's actually lost touch of DRS on Limitless. Before he's Letter P's getting the hurry up from Hado behind to get that DRS. As Rumsey's gonna go down Junkyard's inside, he's gonna let that happen, just slot in behind. And no damage on that fray for whatever happened at the hairpin. Two-second gap, the top 3 away from P4. And it's actually just dropped by about 2/10 to Limitless. Make that 1. And the top 3 are in tire saving mode at the moment. Now, just looking at Oscar's fuel level, just to make sure, he has gone extremely high on fuel. Same with Lamb, so both of them got PTSD from running out of fuel in the sprint race. Oh god, that's hilarious, actually. About P4, still about the same gap towards the top 3 as Hado, or not Hado, Jacko and Toddy. Side by side in the 130R sorted out before turning points, so Toddy now into P2. Oscar's going to be out there looking his rear view mirror at Toddy as we get onto the straight. As we have a pitter Limitless into the pit lane for a set of the hard tires to take to the end. So this is the undercut that I was talking about. So Limitless in. What do the front runners do? Because they would have seen on their relative that Limitless pulled in. My question, if they don't go this lap, how long do they stretch this medium tire for? Scotty just getting a beat. Just looking at moves where he can make as he's getting a bit impatient with the pace that Oscar has at the moment. As Oscar stays out, same with Toddy and Jacko, they stay out. No one in the P4 train blinks. Is anyone behind blink? No, no one's blinking to this undercut that's been done. No one is reacting to this as Lamb's gonna go on the offensive on Scotty. As he gets a slipstream off drop there into turn 1. Gap the leader at the moment from the RB to Oscar. About 23 seconds to Limitless, who's on those hards. Does anyone blink? No, no one's blinking. Rumsey's in. Rumsey has decided to react. No one else has reacted except Junkyard Dog. So Rumsey and Junkyard both reacting to this undercut by the RB as done with 10 seconds for speed in pit lane. That's not what you want as we'll jump on board with Rumsey as he's going down pit lane. Here comes Limitless. There's Rumsey. How big is the gap? Because they were about in DRS. They were in DRS before the pit stop happened. But not much of a gain the RB has. About 1/10 game over the Alpine. Now this ain't helping. You know someone's undercutting you, but these top 3 is not working together to create this gap even bigger. They are just letting Oscar drag him. Here's the gap to Hudo and let it be about 2.4. Those two have been working together to close this gap. That gap grew by about a 10th down the straight, so that just says a wing gap difference. Oscar's in, Jacko's in, Hado's in. The other Sauber, the Sauber's got a double stack. Lelepe's gotta get screwed by this. This is gonna ruin his race. As an RB is into pit lane. As I believe someone got a 4-second or 10-second penalty. So there's the RB Limitless. Where does he filter into this little train? He filters behind Jacko, 1.1 to the Sauber, and he's also caught that gap because of the warm tires. So Jacko just struggling already on those cold, hard tires. Oscar's already brought that gap out again. So Lamb's also coming on the hard tire. He's in this little train. He's didn't want to be behind drop out after what happened at that chicane. And this is a 5.5. Trying to get around AI cars. There goes one AI car, Gogo. See if they can get the other one. We'll jump on board. That is not what I want. On board Domwa. Makes the send. Down the inside. Lamb is gonna follow him through. You're hooking your tire, bud. And it's kind of a drag race. What was pole time? 27.8 was the pole time for the main race. The sprint, it was a 27.5. So Toddy's into the box. He's put on a fresh set of the hard tires. You also got to drop it into the pit lane as well. Looking at Oscar, let's see the gap between these two. As Toddy comes out, Limitless gets past Jacko for effective P2. Now, this is interesting. Oscar has fired those hards up nicely. He's now 2 seconds in front of Limitless and Jacko. Limitless has older tires, but they're currently warmer at the moment, so these are going to hit a cliff a lot quicker than what Oscar is going to be on. But Weber, who's down in P14, is going to hit the cliff even sooner. Just currently behind the Haas of Domwell. Lamb actually got past the Haas. He's actually back behind the Mercedes he was trying to get past. So he's actually gonna have to get past this Mercedes nice and clean. Just gonna look at this provisional P2 fight with Limitless and Jacko. Toddy's actually hanging in there. He's actually picked up Romsey and his teammate Hato along for the ride. So this is now a 5-car train as Jack has moved past into P2. As Oscar is just flying at the moment. He's gained another second on this train. So this is showing the pace difference of when you don't have DRS, as Lamb has made the move on Drop Bear, and that gap between Weber and Drop Bear has opened massively. Now Lamb's gonna have to pray for a miracle here, as he most likely will be hit with a report by Drop Bear for that contact at the chicane. So he's gonna have to hope he can build that 5-second gap up when he gets to a position he likes. Gap between Marv and Oscar dropping very quickly. Jacko just a bit wide at the chicane on the first apex. Lost a bit of time to Oscar in the process. This is going to allow Limitless to get by very easily on the straight. As Hato's actually overtaken his teammate for P5, so now Hato's sending P5 with that penalty. Let's have a look as Lamb goes fastest overall. So the penalty currently sitting on the Hato's head, that is the worst type as well. It's a 10-second penalty. You also got that one for Dom White as well. So that is definitely not what you want to see. As Limitless has actually dropped the gap to Oscar by about 0.3. Never mind. I lied. Lamb has dropped the Mercedes behind. He's now on the charge for that half. As Mars into the pit lane to get rid of those medium tires. As we see the switch. Well, 3, 2, and 3. Almost actually dropping back 2 places as Hato followed Jacko through. Toddy and Rumsey have lost DRS to this fight for the P2. But, to be honest, yeah. They lost fight to it's the podium fight that's just escaped them as Rumsey's actually caught back into that DRS by about a tenth. He's almost dropped Toddy out as Letter P is still struggling up 2 seconds behind. As Oscar still keeping that gap of about 2.7 seconds as Lamb has caught up to Jetman at 1.1 as Dropper's gained time on the McLaren driver. He's almost within DRS of the McLaren. Side by side, Jacko and Limitless. Oh, that's a bit of argy-bargy between the two as Jacko almost put his nose through it. I don't know. I forgot the corner number now. Webber 3-second penalty again. Collision at the back of the field between Junkyard Scotty and Domwell, I think. Actually, no, between Webber. He's actually DNF'd. And that's an on-track retirement. Which you're not supposed to do. The position changes between Toddy and letter P, I think. Also, Marv getting past Echo on that medium tire, so Marv's on the charge. Echo trying to salvage points after P17 start. After being heavily blocked by Williams in qualifying. The gap between the Oscar and Hato drop just a tiny bit, about 1/10 between two. Oscar able to hold this gap relatively well at the moment. I believe Marv just gone quickest overall with the fastest lap. As Lamb dropping Jetman 2.6 seconds to the horse, but he's got to climb 8 seconds to the Red Bull or the RB driver in P9 who is actually clinging on to dear life with this DRS in front of him. As Mars actually a little bit stuck at the moment in P8 behind Toddy. As he was thinking about sending around the outside, he's actually tapped the rear of Toddy, just half spun him. And he's gone around the outside. Now that's basically a punt to pass and it should be readdressed, but doesn't look like that's happening. So we jump to the P2 fight. Oh, well, yeah. Basically a P2 fight between Jacko and Limitless. Hato's got that 10-second penalty for speeding. Got Rumsey sitting in there as well. As Jacko gets past Hato for P3, Marv gets past letter P for P6. He's making the charge as Lamb's actually caught up the tiny speck, gap to leader. Don't think we need gap to leader at the moment, but there's no one needing a pit, but I'll keep it up for like a few more corners. That's not done. Well, I'm just gonna hope Oscar has enough fuel in the car so he doesn't run out. So into the DRS straight, let's see what Jacko does. So Jacko's gonna go for the move on Limitless. Hato's gonna follow suit down towards down 1, so Limitless loses out to 2 spots yet again. It looks like those medium tires on Marv's car are going for a window now where they kind of just feel like rubbish. So he hasn't been able to gap letter P. But Marv still does have the better grip in Sector 1. He's caught up to Rumsey by about 3/10 this lap already. Oh, as Oscar, I think, has made a mistake. He's almost within... Jack is almost within DRS of Oscar here. For Oscar, who had a 2-second gap, has thrown about 8/10 away. Who's on comms? Just me. Just myself. Me, myself, and I. That's all it is. But there's Apollo on comms, our tier 1 driver that will be racing tomorrow. As we go into the chicane, I don't think Jacko's got the DRS. Yes, I am. That's on comms. Yes. So Jacko doesn't get the DRS, but he's going to give Hato the slipstream to potentially... No, he just does not want to pass. So I think Jacko just burned all of his battery down that straight to get in the DRS of Oscar. Now it is a fight for the lead of the race. Letter P's almost within this as well. He's about 3/10 back. Almost within this. If he wants, he can just let Marv go, and Marv can just carry him to the guys in front of him. This is going to make Lamb's job a bit harder, though, once everyone gets into DRS, because now he's just going to be set as a sitting duck. I haven't heard that name since Race Spec. Did I race you in race spec? I can't remember. Or were you in another tier, but you watched the tier 1 races? As this is gonna be quite an interesting one. Jacko 3/10 up on Oscar's rear. Does he have the energy though? Into the straight. He's on no deploy, so I don't know. Or well, he's not on no deploy. He's got he's on the flashing. As Hater's gonna stick it down the inside. Not the smartest move when you're not fully alongside to stick it down the inside. Just looks like Oscar's struggling for some reason. As Letter P's actually got back into DRS. Echo has lost out. He's about 4/10 away from him, so he's lost out DRS. Lamb is about, I think Lamb's struggling back here on his tires, so he's got a 5-second gap to jump in, so if he does get reported for the contact at the chicane, he will have that buffer of a 5-second to help him. Now, I'm just going to do this quickly. I won't miss anything because it's on the back straight. Oh. Camera, please. Alright, so everyone is separated by a ruler. Basically. Sato's up pushing that overtake onto Jacko as one of the horses have made a mistake at Spoon. That is Domwa having that little moment at Spoon. No safety car has been called. But Jacko keeping the position, P1 position from Oscar after Halo almost forcing Oscar to make the move. Now, Hado, since he has that 10-second relative at the moment, he's going to drop to around P9. Since this whole pack has rejoined the train. Got 3 laps remaining. Lamb's probably going to have to settle for a P10. Oh my. As Oscar was looking at making a move on Jacko. Hado trying to make the move on Oscar as well. Into lap 25. Let's see who leads after this one. So Oscar's gonna go make that move for the lead. Hado was thinking about making it a 3 wide to turn 1 and taking second place off Jacko. Now, this is where it all comes down. Is who's going to be leading into lap 26. Whoever's leading into lap 26 is going to be at a massive disadvantage onto lap 27. I mean, I think this train is actually congesting itself just a tiny bit because Lamb has just caught basically a 1.5 seconds on these guys. Gap's down to 8.2. We'll switch to leader for a quick fan. So for him to pass Hado, he needs to gain about 1 second. But that's kind of hard because the DRS is just so strong around Japan. Because you're just running high downforce. So into the lap 26. Jacko has made a mistake, I think. As Jacko is gonna go for the move. No, he's not. Now Oscar has a choice. Oscar has to make a choice here to try gap this lap or save your whole battery. Because the next lap this happens, you're getting swamped by about 4 cars. Is that actually coming up to a lap car of a Gogor in the Red Bull? Rumsey Jaw, Stephen Bradbury, and win. That's it for all of them. Just stack it at turn 1. As Toddy's actually made a mistake out of the hairpin. He's dropped most of the field out, most of the drivers out of DRS. So this is now turned into 6 cars. It was about 9. Now it's 6. Now I don't know what the gap is for Lamb. Gap is 11.6. He still needs to find a second on Hato. Into, oh god, Hato's hit the back of Jacko. That's ruined the run. That's just let Oscar run away with it. Oh no. It's all come undone. Hato, who was following Jacko perfectly for the 15 laps, has just hit him into the chicane, letting Oscar make an even bigger gap to get away. Now, what is the gap to Lamb? Lamb needs to still find a second on Hato to get a position. Currently 1.2, he needs 8/10, letter P, 3-second pen. That's gonna drop letter P down to P9. Potentially. We'll keep gap on leader for the last few parts of the race, as Hato has that 10-second. I wanna know where he's gonna end up, as there's an incident at the hairpin. One of the Mercedes is going slow. Let's look at... Oh, as Oscar is very close to being out of fuel. He's going to have to lift and coast this last chicane. He's about to be out of fuel. Is this another win that's going to be snatched because of fuel issues? It doesn't matter. Jacko's too far back. Oscar wins. Jacko in second. And then there's going to be Rumsey in third. I think Limitless ran out of fuel across the line. Letter P drops down to P8 as Hato drops into 7th. Lamb actually drops into P9. I think Echo had a mistake somewhere. No, Echo had a 10-second. I think. What a race. You got Marv on the medium tire, cutting through the field. Oscar tried to fuel save and keep the gap up. Cross the line with a .00 in his fuel tank. Pin up perfect finish for the McLaren on fuel. Now let me try this on Discord to see if I can do this. But Oscar is your winner today with Jacko P2, Rumsey P3. Now this is gonna be a change up in the drivers. This is gonna be an interesting one for the rest of the season. Let's go here. Alright, that's not what I wanted. What's this name not coming up? There he goes. I'll quickly go through the results because I need to do that. So Oscar is your winner with Jacko Rumsey P2, 3. Marv gets P4 with fastest lap. Limitless goes to P5. I don't know what happened towards the back, to be honest. I was more paying attention to the front of the field, so I'm not quite sure. I need to get Jacko and they should be able to join. We'll just wait for some people. Oscar and Jacko did join, and then he's instantly left. So that's great. We'll switch to the standing screen. Hopefully it worked. It did work. Don't know if we'll get Oscar and Rumsey in here. I need to check. Don't know if I'm gonna get them, to be honest. Well, Jacko might just be yourself in the interview box today.
Oh, okay.
So congratulations on the P2, yeah? A bit of a worrisome coming to the last lap with Hato hitting your rear. But talk us through the race. How did you feel after the sprint race and then the main race start?
I was pretty concerned after the sprint, to be fair, because I was, 7th, which some people would be pretty happy with, I guess. But for the championship leader, it's probably not where you need to be pace-wise, and that was pace-wise. I didn't make any errors to be there. So I thankfully, Part Femo was not on, and I was able to change setup, and I went to one that was a different philosophy, and it worked a lot better. I was able to qualify towards the front, stay in the front group, which broke away before the pit stops, which was nice because, again, those guys caught up, as you could tell. And I was surprised to be catching Piastri. I imagine he was probably trying to save fuel because a lot of guys were having fuel issues there towards the end.
Piastri did finish the race, pin perfect on fuel.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense because we caught him by like 3 seconds in the, 5 or so laps from the end. So I assume that was him saving fuel. And then I guess I could have had a run at him at the end without that contact, but it's hard to say if I would have got him. He was pretty good at defending down the straight in the first stint. So I wouldn't say it was for sure going to be a pass with the DRS anyway. So pretty happy with P2 given where I was in the sprint, and it's good points.
Just give me 2 seconds to find the calendar because I've lost it. That is. It is a break week next week, so. But after that, you got Austria, so you got 2 weeks to prepare for Austria. How do you feel about that one? Because that's a more DRS train track.
Yeah, not one of my favourites, but I'm not terrible there, so just try and make sure we score some good points and continue in this vein. P1, P2, I think it's been. So if we can continue that, it'd be great. Even if it's just a podium, that's fine by me.
Well, that P2, you lose a tiny bit of points to Oscar as you finish right behind him, but it seems that this championship fight might go down to the wire like last season between Battle Count and Letter P. I would say Sauer picked up some good points today, but that double stack really did screw Letter P over, but congratulations on the P2 anyway, and we will see you in 2 weeks for Austria.
Thanks very much, and apologies to P. We had a bit of a miscommunication there regarding that pit stop, so that didn't help him at all. And congrats, obviously, to Rumsey here and to Oscar.
Well, Rumsey, congratulations on the P3. I believe this is your second P3 of the season.
Yeah, g'day boys, how's it going?
A bit of a stressful one for you.
Yeah, oh, that was honestly probably one of the closest races and just like hard racing I've been in probably almost ever. Like there's like pretty much anyone in the top 8 that can get a podium every race. So it's not like you can just sit behind someone. It's alright when you're at the back of the train. Like I was just kicking back a bit, just saving battery. But as soon as you make a move to get past someone, then they just get you straight back because you've just used all your battery. That's how close the field is. So I was pretty much sweating the whole race, and I think I was lacking a lot of pace there. So I was pretty happy with the P3.
Well, with that race, I think he jumped to P3 in the standings again, as Marv finished right behind you, but he did get fast up, so I have to double check. But I actually didn't see where you finished in the sprint race, to be honest, but it didn't look like sprint race was too fun, as the top 3, I think, did the same thing as I did in the main race and just broke DRS.
Ran away. Yeah, that's the thing here. It's so hard to overtake through pretty much the whole. It's impossible to overtake on the whole first sector, and everyone just goes off the battery that whole way through there. Because if you don't, then you're just going to get smashed down the straight. Like there's mad slipstream and ERS and DRS. It's pretty much like impossible. Like if you're just trying to make moves in the first sector. So I think that's why it was so close, because it was so, like if one car jumped out of the DRS, they would just burn medium through the whole first sector and they'd catch back up because everyone else would burn off. So the whole field was like super close to the whole race. It was honestly good fun, that race.
Well, 2 weeks' time, you got Austria, which is basically a track you can't pass on without DRS, so it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, not a massive fan. Do we have Australia next week? Because we missed it for the first round. They said they'll put in the break week, or is that
Australian GP next week? We are doing Australia race in Easter break, I believe.
Oh yeah, okay. All right, gotcha.
Let me check actually. Tier 2 notices. Should be somewhere here. Round 1 postponed. It is to the 19th of April, so that should be Easter.
Oh yeah, that's a month and 10 days or whatever.
Yeah, but Austria, same thing basically. You gotta be DRS the whole time. How do you feel for that one?
I'm honestly not a massive fan. I like all the windy tracks like this track, Brazil, Silverstone. Like I feel like they're a lot easier for wheel, but a lot of the controller players I think are real OP on like Singapore, like just every track where you just rip left on the stick kind of thing. I don't know if they've got some kind of assist in the corners or something like that makes it easier, but the controller players just seem to be super OP there, so I don't think I'm getting a great result there, to be honest, with how far some of the boys are up the front at the moment.
Controller traction is a thing, but congrats on the P3. That's massive points for you in the championship, and we'll see you for Austria in 2 weeks' time.
Cheers, boys, and congratulations to Jacko and Oscar.
Okay, so as you can see the standings on the screen, Jack is just making, or having a little bit of an issue, or getting the P2 this race. Oscar claiming some points on the championship leader as well. Marv losing some points out to Romsey, who's actually in P7 and would be jumping to quite a few people. Salva getting great points today on Racing Bulls as they finished quite horribly with, I believe it was a P5 and a P10. That might be due to qualifying as well for Echo as well. Anyway, that will be us for Tier 2. Tier 1 will be tomorrow. I believe it's still going ahead because I don't think the cyclone is as bad as it's been said to be. So I think Tier 1 is going ahead tomorrow. We should still be live same time as today at Tier 2, so 5 PM AEST. We'll be live. And that'll be the Tier 1 guys tackling Japan in the sprint race as well, which will actually be a lot of fun, a lot of close racing. You might see even Campbell Adams pull a 26, a low 26 from nowhere and leave us all in the dust. But anyway, that's all of us from Inters. That's myself, Pepsi, for your content. We shall see you tomorrow for Tier 1. Goodbye.